Title of this joint is Survivor's Remorse. Maybe you can relate. I'm from the illest part of the Western Hemisphere. So if you in the sightseeing, don't visit there. It's somewhere between Jersey and Delaware. Philly never scared, and them boys ain't timid there. So you get black thoughts when you West Philly, born and raised. Where salt, pepper, ketchup is a one-word phrase. Soft pretzels, water ice, and Schuylkill punch. Penn's Landing, South Street, it's Gabibbles for lunch. The place where decent means something way better than that. And little boys learn defense by boxing with slaps. It's the city of brotherly thugs and sisterly slugs. And we had to build a statue in memory of love. See, you can't just join here. You gotta be born here. So careful if you come here when you ain't from here. The streets is dirty as the cops here and life ain't fair, but our motto is, no one likes us and we don't care. Yeah. See, in Philadelphia, we live life as perennial underdogs and carry it like it's a chip on our shoulder. Still, my opinion of my city's beginning to shift now that I've become a little bit older. Looking back, I realized I took a little bit too much pride in having survived all the drama. Reminiscing finally about my childhood traumas and wearing my PTSD like it was a badge of honor. Them days back when the landlord gambled away the rent money, so now it's no heat. Cupboard getting bare, we trying to figure out what we gonna eat. Surviving off no-frill pancakes mix 3 times a day for weeks just to get by. And when the syrup and then the jelly ran out, man, we just choked them joints down dry. Or the first time I got permission to take my bike off the block. Spun that corner, leaned back, I had it on 12 o'clock. Got probably about 30, 40 feet before I got stopped and jumped. I'll never forget that feeling of euphoria, a twisted combination of terror at being victimized, but also pride that I fought them off, kept my bike, and earned their respect. I say pride because when it came to the hands, man, I had to be self-taught. See, becoming a witness changed my pot from activist to pacifist, who refused to teach me how to guard or even make a proper fist. Good intent, because the race for life is won by the swift, but it's tough growing up Christ-like in the hood, hard as amethyst. The 47 shots cops fired into the front of a unarmed mentally ill man's house. And me and my boys rode our bikes by the next day just to stare at all the bullet holes like it was some type of abstract art installation. Silently wondering to myself, how many missed shots will one day paint the masterpiece of my own demise? Or when a group of Africans' chants of black and proud got a little too loud, no flex, the cops dropped a bomb to move the crowd. The chief told the firemen to stand down and let it burn, killing 11, including innocent children and babies, and burning down 61 surrounding homes, leaving hundreds of people homeless. I'll never forget walking to the meeting that night, just a couple blocks over, as the wind carried ashes of another cremated revolution drifted down around us like snow. Definitely never forget the first time I saw someone get shot in front of me and bleed out on the street. His best friend clutching him saying, "Hold on, help is coming. Hold on, help is coming." Unaware by that point, man, he was just talking to himself. And if I had more time, I could continue and continue, but at the end of the day, this is simply the life that we're born into. And from birth, this murderous metropolis murmurs melancholy melodies that morph into lifelong lullabies, sweeping through young eardrums and seeping into every synapse and sinew. And before I knew, man, I had slept, walked, and daydreamed through decades of dysfunction. This sinister city playing my soul like a symphony, puppeteering me by my heartstrings and constantly testing my loyalty. And the irony, man, it took 44 years of me writing this poem to see I had Stockholm Syndrome for home. But then the day came, I had a child of my own, and it's like the scales fell from my eyes, allowing reality to come rushing in. Goose bumping my skin like the wind's cold breath, the chilling fact that urban life is really a slow death. Having to hopscotch through needles and glass when I take them to the park, and besides going to the meetings, man, we stayed in after dark. These wolf-infested streets snatch the lives of young sheep and do it often. You see, way before COVID, hanging with the wrong crowd will make you likely to catch a coffin. Last year alone, we had 560 homicides, 1,816 non-fatal shootings in 365 days. Now do the math on that. The simple fact is that how can I say I'm giving him the best environment and choose to keep him in his habitat? At least if I have the opportunity to go elsewhere, which is a blessing that far too few have. So I swallowed my pride and did something I swore I never would. I packed my family up and left. And don't get me wrong, our new spot is quiet, peaceful, and the school district is better than good. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel some guilt for walking away from my old hood. I wish I could take a ride and strike it down into the ground of the 2-1 pound, split in the sea of inequity, and march all my people with me to freedom like Moses. But that's a fantasy. My responsibility is to my family, so I gotta stay focused. So I guess at the end of the day, all I can do is continue working hard to provide, give my child the best environment I can while I'm alive, and humbly hope for everybody I left behind in the 215, they can somehow, some way, just continue to survive. Love y'all.